Top of the morning to each and every one of you guys. Welcome back to the channel. It is a somewhat early morning. It's probably like 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning or so. And I want to get a good jump on what's going on with the GTR. It will be purely information on this video. The last video was me moving all the cars around, as you can kind of tell. And I started working on the GTR just a little bit to see like what I was in for as far as what was going on with it. So I have like a bunch of stuff. I have cylinder leak down test. I have a compression test still hooked up to the car. I have a bunch of stuff everywhere, and I started taking apart a couple things that were just in my way that I felt like I should be able to see. So the diagnosis that I came up with is far worse than what I had imagined, and I'm not really happy about it. But you have to keep the optimism going because everything can be fixed. So when I was taking everything apart, one of the things I had noticed was, looking at my like my coil packs here, like they're just not in the best shape. And I can guarantee you when I put everything back together and put the new spark plugs in a while ago, well, last year, it was not like this. All my coil packs are cracked. So meaning that they went through some extreme heat. So like I said before, if I had seen that, I would have definitely have changed that out. But I can guarantee you I never touched, I never noticed anything like that. So that's problem number one. So I'm gonna have to get a new set of something to remedy this here, and yeah, and get that fixed. But the next thing here is so I know it's a lot of stuff going on here. So like I said before, I still have my compression test. So in the last video, I did tell you guys that I was gonna let you guys know if the compression test came back bad, which honestly, I'm pretty sure it came back bad. So let me explain what's going on here. So to do a compression test, you have to pull all the spark plugs out, hold the gas pedal, and you just have to crank over the car. Pretty simple, standard, with the wide open throttle, and you have to do it when the car is warm. Obviously, I didn't want, on the last video, you heard that the car was sputtering and carrying on, so the car, I didn't want to get warm. So, yeah, the numbers were going to be off regardless because it was going to be a cold engine. So I proceeded to take out all the plugs, and I did a compression test, right? So as you can tell, the spark plugs are back in, and there's a reason for that. So I went through all of the compression for every single cylinder, and they hit nothing over 30 psi. So really bad. So I thought that the motor was dead. So I was thinking the worst. So good news is that the motor is still pretty healthy. Now I'll go into why I think that in a couple minutes here. So as you can tell, the spark plugs are back in the car, and I compression tested it with all the spark plugs in, and every single cylinder is it hits 120 psi. So very consistent 120 psi, very consistent 30 psi throughout all 6 cylinders whenever I did it with all the spark plugs out. So something is definitely going on. So what I did was started taking apart the intake side, because I wanted to see if there was something that I can see. Maybe I swore up and down that one of these turbos or both of these turbos were dead. So I wanted to make sure, like, hey, like if there was a fin or something like that, like, pushed up, that I can actually see it. Well, good news is that I don't think either one of these bad boys are blown. So but that's just me in early predicaments here. So All right, next thing I've noticed. So I just happen to, look to the overflow for the coolant. It's right over here. It's way above max, but that's really not that big of an issue. But I have it crimped off here. And so the first thing I did was I pulled off the coolant cap here, and I noticed that it was extremely low. Like, normally you're supposed to see coolant right at the top here, and I didn't see anything. So that kind of concerned me a little bit. So I whipped out the well, I probably put it away. So I whipped out the pressure tester so that I can actually pressure test the radiator and the cooling system. So I don't have like a special adapter for this for the this hose end or whatever. So I kind of had to improvise, and I thought that I did a pretty good job. I just stuck my tester in there, blew up the bladder, and then pressurized the system, or tried to pressurize the system. Well, I couldn't pressurize. There was no pressure at all. So I says, all right, where's all my coolant? So there's no coolant in the radiator. At least there's none that I can see. So I have an issue with coolant. So on to my next thing that I noticed. One of the next thing I noticed was that since I could not get any pressure, I pulled off the the pressure tester, and I literally just I cleaned up here and I blew into it. It's a quick, easy thing. Blow into it so that you can actually see if you can hear anything or see anything that might be an issue. Well, I did. There was something coming from somewhere around. I just had no idea where it was or how to find it, right? So I was blowing into it, and I was hearing air from in this area here. Obviously, you can tell there's something crimped here. That is one of the coolant hoses to going into the car, to the AC. Not the AC, the heater core. So I have that capped off, and I wanted to see where I can hear anything, where it was coming from. So I started hearing something from back here, and then I did a little bit more investigating. So let's take this off, and I'll show you here. So this right here, I have this kind of capped off. So this right here is the line that goes into the car. It goes, I don't know if you, it's really tough. Let me see if I can get a light here and show you guys. So, okay. So a little bit better light. So you still probably won't even be able to see it. I'm trying to move all this stuff out of the way so you can't see it. All right, here's perfect. So you see that line there? That is the outlet or inlet for the heater hose that goes inside the car. All right, so now that we know what we're looking at, this is what I found. So this is the very end of brittle plastic, the brittle plastic of what I pulled out of that line that's capped. So these two pieces here are the very end of the heater core, the outlet for the heater core. That's why I have this plugged here with this, and it's I have this thing here, worm clamp, so that I can it'll just I can actually push coolant and see if it comes through anywhere. So with that, I actually blew into this, and it came right out of that hose there. So that has been my issue. So if you guys are not following along or haven't got what I've already put down, so what happened was this thing, these two little pieces broke off and disconnected from the heater core. The heater core started leaking coolant out, and once the car got hot, it just leaked out. But I had no awareness of this because it was either probably something that just leaked out over time, or it was just a big spill and it just started leaking. Thankfully, I don't really drive this car a lot. So on the last video a long time ago, before I put it away, I had it outside sitting. I think it was actually even before we we put down the driveway. So I think it was probably just leaking into the ground, and I had no idea about it because I wasn't really looking. It looked like it was in pretty good health. But, you know, with no coolant in the car, you already know what's going on. A head gasket is what I'm thinking. So the reason why I think that is just because when I took out all of the spark plugs and I pressure tested it, did a compression test, it only came up with 30 PSI on each and every cylinder. So whenever I put all the spark plugs in and compression tested it, it came up with 120 PSI for every single cylinder. So which makes me think that there's a break in the head gasket in all 4 cylinders. So it probably just got too hot. And I guarantee you I probably have a paper gasket, like an OEM paper gasket, and I need to change that out. So good news and bad news. Good news is that it can be fixed. I need to take the head off, and I need to take it to a machine shop to make sure it's flat so I can put a metal head gasket on here. The heater core can be fixed because it's 4 bolts, and each one of the it has like plastic little like elbows on here. So they do make a metal 90-degree elbow that comes out of there. It's from a company in Australia that makes it, but that's gonna suck. So I might just have to order that. So it's a toss up between getting metal parts to replace those 2 plastic elbows, or just getting a brand new OEM heater core with brand new plastic. But it's lasted 25 years, so I don't think that it would happen again until another 25 years. The problem is that it's still plastic, and plastic can still degrade over time. And I really don't want to have to do this twice. So what I might just do is just buy, I think the company's name is called Boost Dock. And they make 2 metal elbows that come out. And the heater core is actually, it's aluminum because it's you know, got to conduct heat through it. But, and then it you know, they make AN fittings and adapters to go onto the stock heater core. So you don't have to remove the stock heater core at all. You just have to undo those 4 bolts and reconnect the new bolts or the new elbows and get rid of the plastic. So I think that's probably what I'm gonna do. So I didn't want to get into doing anything on this video here because I know like my videos can be very lengthy when it comes to stuff like this. So I want to let you guys know what was going on with it, and I plan on going after it as soon as I'm done with this video. I'm gonna go inside, upload this so I can actually come back out here and start working on this. So the game plan is still the same. Switch out these 2 turbos, put like a bunch of stuff that I bought for the car in, but now I have to wait for machine shops to call me back, like whenever everything is done. I have to get a whole gasket set for it. I have to get a metal head gasket. So I planned on doing a bunch of stuff while the motor was out. I just didn't think that I was gonna tear it down as far as doing a head gasket. So, but it's a blessing in disguise. So at least I'll get that taken care of, so I won't have to really worry about you know, a head gasket problem in the future. So that'll be good, and I'll be able to fix all of my issues. So yeah, so it can be good. It can be good. So it is what it is. So there's a bunch of stuff that I plan on doing, and hopefully with the next video coming out here, I will start ripping this bad boy apart so that we can drop everything down onto the floor and we can actually start getting all these parts ripped off. So it's a crappy video. I don't like to show stuff like this, but you know what? In the journey of car building and car doing stuff, like you kind of need to know what's going on. See, I have the Evo sitting outside, like on the charger because the battery was dead. So the problem with having multiple cars is that you can't keep the batteries all going. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Next video, well, I mean, next video for you guys, it'll be like maybe half an hour for me, I will be changing into some clothes, and I will be getting to work on the GTR, getting that bad boy out. So yeah, follow me on this journey, because it will be a fun one, and hopefully you'll learn a little bit from me. I'm no expert by any means in the GTR world or any car world, but like yeah, I do my best. I do my best, even though I know how to work on cars. Never worked on a GTR before, so this will be brand new to me. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you want to follow this journey, give me a like, maybe think about subscribing, and we will go through this together, because it'll be a process. But first thing is that motor's got to come out. So I'll see you guys on the next one. All right, deuces.